In my brain, it always seems like Aang just stops doing his moves in the intro in this pose, but as the intro pans away from him, it actually does seem like he keeps going into the movement from the extended intro. Man, the writing for Book 4 balance is so close to being Book 4 balanced.
Everyone, Mom, can we stay together, please? The tour's about to begin.
People pointed out that this walking Napoleon Dynamite reference was actually voiced by the actor for Napoleon Dynamite, John Hatter, which I didn't know. Maybe I just assumed because Napoleon Dynamite is one of those impressions everyone has tried and no one is particularly bad at. Like, I bet half of you just went, God! Anyway, yeah, thanks. Turns out you mad people in the comments can have some cool info sometimes.
Fun fact, everyone. All these vines were created by Unavatu when he battled giant spirit Korra for the fate of the world.
It's crazy that they got the fun fact thing right, too. That wasn't fun, and it's something definitely everyone already knows. The term fun fact kills me.
Why is that vine coming toward us?
I don't know. No one really knows how this shit works, which, honestly, good. I'm fine with not knowing where this tornado came from. I'm fine with not knowing why this vine is being weird, even though we kind of find out. If the show doesn't make an explanation needed, I won't need one. We square?
I don't see anything about that on the cards.
I'm gonna poke it with a stick.
I didn't realize this guy's aesthetic was so Steve Irwin core.
Everyone back!
These cards actually have text on them. They didn't have to do that. Could have left them blank. I don't have the means to translate them myself, but I bet there's some killer Easter eggs on there. Now, as long as Ryu doesn't do the cartwheel flip kick. No! Oh, wait, that was even lamer. Korra does a waterbending movement to earthbend here, which reminds me, I've been getting comments since way back that characters doing movements more associated with other styles of bending can be a good way to visualize them growing and learning and being more open-minded, and I guess I agree. But also, for a lot of them, I think maybe there's only so many ways a human body can move, and, you know, we want to keep things fresh. We don't want characters doing the same movements all the time. Like, do I think Katara learned something from Toph here to apply some earthbending mindset to her fight with Hama? Personally, no. I think they probably just thought it was a cool visual, even though it does clash with the mindset of waterbending pretty hard. But everyone's interpretation is just as valid as mine, and that's an idea I'm going to expand upon in a minute here.
Everything okay?
Yes, this is famously my everything is okay face.
Guys, there you are. I just felt a weird surge of spiritual energy coming from the spirit wilds. Something's wrong.
Are you sure you felt a disturbance? Maybe you just had some bad food for breakfast.
What?
Maybe something happened to Ryu's tour group. We should have run into them by now.
Yeah, but it's Ryu. They might be at the mall for all we know.
You guys have a mall?
But maybe I can get a reading.
Okay, I get the logic of everything is connected, cool through line, I like the messaging, blah blah blah. But now Korra's seeing shit she's not even trying to see when she does this? I know I literally just said I don't need explanations, but the other show kinda did explain it, and now the show is like, ah, fuck it, it just does whatever.
I say we deal with this Kuvira situation immediately.
Has Raiko been on that line? He seemed pretty passive on Kuvira early in the season, and then as I cried about, we didn't get to see the reaction of the world leaders after Kuvira's declaration of the Earth Empire.
Look, I think we all know what must be done. We take the fight to her.
Oh, no, I guess he's pissed.
We tell her she won an all-expense-paid vacation to a tropical island. Then when she gets there, we reveal it was a trap. The island's a prison. Boom! Got her!
Speaking of Napoleon.
She told us that she was going to turn over power, and she didn't. I'm with Raiko. I say we go on the offensive and start by retaking Zaofu.
Also, I like that Lin argues to free her family's home first, but through the lens of it being a move against Kuvira and not for her family, even though it certainly is. They really know how to write Lin.
Or, okay, I'm just spitballing here. We march in with an army of highly trained badger moles.
I think I hate Wu the most here, but only because he reminds me of Boomy. Is that fair? Yeah, that's pretty fair.
A medium-sized bulldozer, and does anyone have a badger mole that knows Morse code?
I always think about this. Do you think Republic City's police badge is supposed to look like Toph with her invasion hat on? That thought penetrated my head years ago, and it won't leave.
Korra, we're in the middle of a meeting, and we can't have people just barge in whatever they want.
Guys! Oh, perfect! You're all here!
What are you doing here? Guards, remove these traitors!
Well, to be fair, Varric's from the Southern Water Tribe, it seems, so he's not exactly a traitor. Bolin, being a citizen of the totally real single nation of the United Republic of Nations, makes sense of that. Would, I guess, be a traitor, though, yeah. But also, why some Raiko like guards have this man drawn and quartered for trying to kidnap me and incite an escalation to a war and then escaping prison? Like, hello? I imagine that would still be pretty fresh in his mind even 3 years later.
Listen to me. Kuvira's making this thing that goes ba-boo! Ah!
I don't think I've ever had to pull out the cheap green screen weapons for Bolin, but he's getting there.
My airbenders won't be part of an unprovoked attack.
Neither will the Fire Nation.
But Fire Lord Izumi...
I don't know if you guys remember, but people used to genuinely theorize that Zuko's daughter would be named Honora before her name was revealed. Honora, because of the word honor. People used to think that with their brains, on purpose.
The Fire Nation has spent too much of its history fighting nonsense wars.
I feel like this may be a reference to something, but I just can't figure it out. Wu's arm doesn't really seem to be leaning on anything solid here.
Don't you think some other people would agree to go with us?
This is an unsanctioned and dangerous mission into enemy territory. We can't ask other people to risk their necks for our family.
It's gonna have to be some sort of Operation Bayfall.
Bolin, I'm so glad you're back. I was worried about you.
Mako, I'm so sorry about the way we left things. I'm such an idiot. You tried to warn me about Kuvira, and I ran off anyway, like an idiot. I hope that I'll be able to earn your trust again.
If anyone has lost people's trust, it's me.
See, I think this is a better reunion. Maybe the other one was more realistic, with it being awkward and people saying the wrong things and people getting on each other's nerves and whatever. But I don't think that's really cohesive to the kind of show we're doing at this point. Maybe season 1 Korra, but not anymore. This is a cool action-adventure, kung fu, and maybe comedy series if you ask the right people, that's really zoomed in on one character now. I don't think this group of friends ever really got to the point where an awkwardness or being out of step with each other was really very far from the norm. I get why they did it, as I discussed in that video, but you need your characters to feel close before a disagreement can ever really feel impactful. So this one just being simple, concise, and Bolin's back on side is a good way to simplify things and keep us rolling without any hurt feelings bogging us down. Jinora seems to be flying pretty close to the ground here, but then in this next shot she's falling from like 100 feet in the air. There's simply no way Master Jinora, 3 years after getting her tattoos, is kidnapped and a damsel again, right? They just wouldn't do that. It's a fake out. Right, guys?
Korra! The vines! They're taking me! Help!
I can't stay to chat or tell you where, because,
Wait, do you hear that?
Korra, for some reason, does one big kick and then strikes a superhero pose. Meanwhile, Mako's like, oh god, oh fuck!
Korra, look! What are those?
That's, you know, that's a great question. I don't know.
Let's get them out.
Don't! You'll provoke the vines. Let me try.
Where did this water come from? Like, I know you're in a puddle, but that's a lot of water.
They won't open. Maybe if I...
Ah, my brain!
Maybe if I meditate into the spirit world, I can free them. This isn't the spirit world.
You can meditate into your memories? Wow. So yeah, no, Korra can still bend, so she's right, it's not the spirit world in any way, so like, what is this?
You can't fight me and the poison.
Oh, thank you for the explanation this time, Zahir. I wasn't totally sure.
I need to if I want to save Jinora and the others. There's no other way.
There is another way. I'm calling your father. He can lead an expedition into the spirit world from the southern portal.
We run into the problem of the spirit world being like a big place again. Unless the protocol is for literally every human to get tossed into the fog, surely finding them would be next to impossible, right?
I'll be okay.
Zahir's imprisoned deep in the mountains outside the city.
I miss Tenzin. He's one of your strongest characters, and a lot like Season 2, he's basically sat on the bench and told to stay there.
Pop-Pops, where are you?
Full Bolin redesign of a different shade of shirt. Gotta tell you, it really doesn't do it for me.
Opal, you made it!
What's this?
A picnic, just for the 2 of us. Well, 3 of us. Sorry, Pops.
More actual text on paper. Someone in the comments, surely, you got me, right?
So this note Pabu brought me saying you broke both of your legs was just a ruse?
Hold on, you know Bolin, for one, and then you thought he broke both his legs and had a scrap of paper on him, and a pen, and a cute pink ribbon. This is the 3rd dumbest note idea in all of Avatar, and you still fell for it?
My favorite. This will totally make me forget that you worked for Kuvira, the person who captured my family and is probably torturing them right now. So yeah, let's just sit down and have a great picnic because we're so in love.
How do you think she gets her hair to do that?
I'm sorry you had to see that, Pabu.
This character drama I'm into, this reunion being tough, that's nice. Because they shouldn't be on the same page at all, and Opal's obviously very concerned / pissed, and Bolin is obviously very dumb / idiot. There should be tension, and a lot of it.
Like when you took over my company and bombed the Southern Water Tribe Cultural Center?
I own that building. A man has the right to blow up his own property.
All right.
Right now, I need you to put aside your differences.
It's all right, Raiko. We keep it pretty casual around here. You don't have to raise your hand.
We're going to need the 2 brightest minds in the city working together to stop it.
Then we better find 2.
We house Zahir here in this ancient fucking Cthulhu temple we found. This isn't very good elevator music.
Approach the wall.
No.
You think they had this glowing Bossing Say crystal imported?
I know why you're here. You can't go into the spirit world. I spend most of my time in the spirit world, and it's well known that the Avatar's spirit hasn't been there for a few years.
I've always liked the idea that you can't really imprison Zahir. You can physically, but it's not like his mind and spirit are imprisoned. His quality of life probably hasn't dropped at all.
You can meditate into the spirit world from here? Doesn't feel very spiritually charged.
I don't care, I'm nuts at this.
Neither of us are the same as before. I learned to fly, but now I'm bound in chains.
Honestly, it's pretty nice of them to give you enough chains so you can float.
You have all the power in the world and the freedom to use it, but you choose to hold yourself down.
Zahir delivers this classic Ozai line.
Even with all the power in the world, you are still weak.
Then you took out the Earth Queen and created the worst dictator the Earth Kingdom has ever seen.
Zahir's like, oh wow, now you're suddenly on the killing the world leaders train, Korra. Yeah, well, fucking la-dee-da. I do like how Zahir obviously has some misgivings about how things have turned out, but he's still really stupid. A lot of people say that Zahir has like a moment of clarity here, and that he thinks that what he did was wrong and sees how it led to even more corrupt rule, not freedom, but he doesn't. He just has a moment where he's like, damn, that sucks. He most likely thinks if he had won, things would be much better.
People used to think I was unstoppable, but now they don't think I'm capable of anything.
Blaming me is a crutch to make you feel better, but it's not helping you recover.
This whole Zahir scene kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I think the messaging is really strange. I see the value in the messaging of coming out of the other side of a horrible, traumatic event and finding strength in the fact that you did it, you made it. But Zahir's wording here, to me, reads as if the fact that the terrible thing happened was the valuable moment.
That poison should have killed you, but you were able to fight it off. You think your power has limits. I say it's limitless.
The fact that it happened was the thing that proved her strength. Suffering abuse or trauma or horrible events doesn't make you a better person or stronger. How you as a person choose to process these things, how these things frame how you act and treat other people and yourself is where your true character lies. And Korra has been struggling with these things, very much so. Not because she's weak, but because that was a lot. That's a lot to handle. So her coming down here and having to face the man that did it to her and having him turn around and basically say, no, you're being stupid, you're being weak, just be tougher and see the vision through to the end is a really weird vibe. And then it turns out he's right, and that fixes her problem. It just doesn't sit well with me. But then here's my other point. Remember when I said I'd get back to it? That's just my interpretation. I'm sure the creators were not going for that interpretation, but that's what I get out of it. And you as a viewer may come out of it agreeing with the creators, that this is a useful, healthy lesson that was good to put in the show, or you may see it the way I do. And I think you're right either way, and I think I'm right too. To me, it matters less of what the creators want to get across, and more of what someone really takes away from something. And to me, here, I think they mishandled getting a powerful message across.
Raava, I missed you. Where have you been?
I have always been inside of you.
Oh, hey, Raava, so you can talk all the time. It wasn't just a harmonic convergence thing. Genius YouTube man was right all along. I'll just add that to the list.
Can you help me find Jinora?
Yeah, we're just gonna do our special avatar movement. Now just stay where you're at, Jinora. Raava will come where you're too. So, I'm confused. Is Raava as a spirit literally and physically inside of Korra? Because it seems like she would have to be to have this happen. But then again, Korra is in the spirit world and thus disconnected from her body in this moment. So her spirit at the moment should not be connected to Raava, thus preventing anything to do with the glowing eyes and the avatar state, right? My head hurts.
How do I release their spirits?
You must bend the energy within.
Also, yeah, energy bending, I guess, can be done by straight up spirits, just all the other bending isn't allowed. This is some bullshit, by the way. The Vines have received no reassurance that their problems will be solved. Korra can just spirit and mind control them to not be pissed anymore? That's kind of chilling when you think about it.
You think you're finally able to forget about what Zahir did to you?
No. But I am finally able to accept what happened, and I think that's gonna make me stronger.
See, that's more what I'm looking for.
You know, there is one thing you could do to win me back.
What is it? Yes, I'll do anything.
Kill Kuvira. It's another one of those episodes that only really has one thing in it, don't you think? For the most part, everything else is pretty forgettable. It just has that vibe that none of the actual problem for the episode is really gonna have that much of an impact on anything else. No one's thinking like, the Vines are kidnapping people and that's gonna be an ongoing problem. That's not a bad thing on its own. It's just a tool to get Korra to 1, know what Kuvira is doing, and 2, get her in a room with Zahir. So that's fine and all, it's just not very interesting, and it takes up a pretty good chunk of the episode too. The quick little side plot of Bolin trying to win back Opal is, like I said, very quick, and Bolin is classically very stupid, but overall the scenes are pretty inoffensive, but once again, not very interesting. What is interesting is the Korra and Zahir thing. Zahir is just a very interesting character, and he's very cool, so seeing him again is a big treat. Of course, I don't think that scene was executed super well, but I'll give it to the episode, it at least was interesting. But that's probably my biggest issue with this season of Korra. A lot of the episodes really only have a scene or 2 or 3 that are really memorable or cool scenes. The rest of the time code ranges from from slow to just straight up unnecessary fluff. So yeah, not my favorite episode ever. Patron shoutouts. If you want to see the next 2 episodes of Overanalyzing Korra ahead of the YouTube releases, you can support me on Patreon for just a few bucks. Link, as always, is in the description below the video. Biggest shoutouts of all go to my top patrons: Blanco, who was raised by a pack of cops in the woods; Cameron Lowry, who found out they have a tiny version of themselves piloting their body after a CAT scan; Gene Cree, who can't talk to ghosts, but they can talk to people that aren't alive yet. There's a lot of them. Lane Brandon, who is the only guy I know that owns a flaming scimitar with a silencer on it. Matthew Lang, who can reach terminal velocity going any direction in about 4 seconds. Potato Scream, who discovered a new continent just off of New Zealand, but never mentioned it because, hey, who wants to be Columbus II, right? The Former Meaning of Life, who found the one tree in the Adirondack Mountains that can speak, so now they're friends with the forest. The 1AM Party, who got scouted to be a model, an NFL wide receiver, and a forklift operator all in one day. Vector, who was the first one to ever pull off a Gene cape. And Whitrow, who was the only person to have access to Google Saturn rather than Google Earth. I don't know why the system thinks they live way the fuck over there. And of course, my other fuck you money patrons: A Flock of Plain Cakes, A2AX Phoenix, Anthony Collins, Jacob Glickman, Kevin Bartlin, Liquor Cause I Know Her, Midnight Balsams, Nights by Satire, Tater of Tots, and That One Turian. In my God Overanalyzers, Two Boots Are Beat, Ang, Alan Garvin, Andrew Watchwood, Auntie Ruiz, Oropataro, Blade Dancer, Chandler Crump, Cosmic Newbie, Derek Chapman, Dr. Xerox, Dominic Saint, Emma Not Emma, Aaron Grace, Fire Lizard 44, I'm a Match, Jackson, Jeremy Rubenstein, Jimith, JK4215, John Warhammer, Justin Scott, Mac, Matthew Lang, Medium D Speaks, Michael Fellon, Mitchell Gobrecht, Nick, Nicholas Abbott, Peter Bandera, Peter Bayron, Pogger White, Rockin' Mist, Ryan Maxwell, Scoobert, Silk Toast, Smarty Marty, Princess Useless Backwards, Super Snipper, That Blind Ginger, Totoro, Bo Rose Musical Emporium, and some sort of bearface. Next up, Shot Through the Heart!